Good morning, Year 4. It's Mrs. Cafrello here with Wednesday's maths lesson. So open your maths book and I want you to write the short date. It's 24th of the 2nd, 2021 today. Leave a line and then underneath I want you to write the learning objective, which is to represent tenths. Okay, so you can pause the video to give you time to do that now. To start off this morning, we've got a recap of some work that we did last half term. So we're going to be converting centimetres and millimetres. Okay, so here we have a 10 centimetre ruler. Okay, so each one is 1 centimetre. So here we've got 1 centimetre. Can anyone remember how many millimetres there are in each centimetre? So the big jumps are the centimetres and the tiny jumps are the millimetres. Have a think, how many millimetres are there in 1 centimetre? Good, there's 10. Okay, so this 1 centimetre is the same as 10 millimetres. If you count all the little ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So how many millimetres then is the full ruler? So we've got 10 centimetres and each centimetre is 10 millimetres. So to work that out, we would times 10 centimetres by 10 millimetres and that would give us 100 millimetres. Okay. So if we know this, if we know that 1 centimetre is 10 millimetres, or 10 centimetres is 100 millimetres, what would 5 centimetres be? Have a little think. Well done if you said 50, because all we do to convert centimetres to millimetres is times this number by 10. 5 times 10 is 50. See if you can work out what 6 centimetres would convert to. Good. If we times it by 10, we would get 60 millimetres. Well done if you got that right. It's your turn now. So in your book, I want you to write mild, spicy or hot, depending which one you're going to challenge yourself on today. And I want you to have a go. First, this top row is converting centimetres to millimetres. And then the bottom row is doing the opposite. So instead of timesing by 10, you will be dividing by 10 because the number is getting smaller. Okay, so pause the video now and have a go at mild, spicy or hot. Okay, let's see how we got on. So the top row, you're going to be timesing each number by 10. Okay, so let's start with mild. So 2 centimetres would be 20 millimetres. 4 centimetres would be 40 millimetres. 6 centimetres would be 60 millimetres. Give yourself a tick if you got those right. Well done. Let's have a look at spicy then. 9 centimetres would be 90 millimetres. 13 centimetres would be 130 millimetres. And 20 centimetres would be 200 millimetres. Give yourself a tick if you got those right. Hot then is a little bit trickier because we've got our decimal points in there. So instead of adding a 0 on the end of the sum like we have done in mild and hot, you will remember that we move the decimal point 1 place. Okay, so let's have a look, see how we've done. So 6.5 centimetres would be 65 millimetres. 14.5 centimetres would be 145 millimetres. 23.4 centimetres would be 234 millimetres. Well done if you managed to get those right. Give yourself a tick. The bottom row then, let's have a look at doing it the opposite way round. So it's given us the millimetres, so we're going to divide by 10 to work out the centimetres. So 30 millimetres, we're going to divide 30 by 10. So if your number has a 0 on the end, you can just take the number off. So 30 millimetres would be 3 centimetres. 70 millimetres would be 7 centimetres. 90 millimetres would be 9 centimetres. Give yourself a tick if you got those right. Let's look at spicy. 150 millimetres would be 15 centimetres. 180 millimetres would be 18 centimetres. 230 millimetres would be 23 centimetres. Well done if you've managed to get those right. Let's have a look at hot then. A little bit trickier because you're not just taking the 0 from the end of the millimetres. You're going to include a decimal point. Remember, your decimal point will only need to go one place because you're dividing by 10. So 155 millimetres would be 15.5 centimetres. 246 millimetres would be 24.6 centimetres. And 322 millimetres would be 32.2 centimetres. Well done if you managed to get those right. Give yourself a tick, and I can't wait to see your books to see who's challenged themselves today. So staying on the 10 theme, because we're learning to count in tenths today, okay? I want you to have a go now at these challenges. So you can choose mild, spicy or hot. So write in your book which one you're going to choose. And you're going to do 2 sums times in the number by 10 and 2 sums dividing the number by 10. Okay, so mild, spicy or hot, off you go. Pause the video so you can do that now. Let's have a look at how we've got on. So we'll work through mild first. 5 times 10. Our answer is 50. Well done if you got that right. 7 times 10. Our answer is 70. Well done if you got that right. Let's look at the division then. 80 divided by 10 is 8. Remember, we're just taking the 0 from the end of the number. 40 divided by 10 is 4. Well done if you got those right. Give yourself a tick. Spicy then, let's have a look. 15 times 10 is 150. 23 times 10 is 230. Let's have a look at the division. 180 divided by 10 is 18. 250 divided by 10 is 25. Well done if you got those right. Give yourself a tick. Let's have a look at hot. 345 times 10 is 3,450. 463 times 10 is 4,630. The division, 5,840 divided by 10 is 584. 4,460 divided by 10 is 446. Well done if you managed to get those right, Year 4. Give yourself a tick. So we're carrying on our work on fractions this morning, and the new learning today is to represent tenths. So tenths of a fraction would look like this. The denominator would be 10, and there will be a different number on top for the numerator. So have a look at these pictures and have a little think if you can work out which ones you could show tenths on. So we can show tenths on all the ones that have 10 possible spaces to be coloured in. Okay, so on these counting beads, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we would be able to represent tenths on that shape. Let's have a look at B. How many possible spaces are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We would not be able to show tenths on here because our denominator would be 8, not 10 that we need. Let's have a look at C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, that will not show tenths because our denominator would be 12, not the 10 that we need. Let's have a look at D. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that one would represent a tenth because our denominator would be 10. For example, there are 4 blue flowers, so 4 tenths are blue. I want you to pause the video now and write down A, B and C in your books. I want you to have a look at these counters and see if you can work out the fractions to complete each sentence. Remember, today we are working in tenths, so the denominator is going to be 10 for each one. See if you can fill in the rest in your book. Pause the video and have a go. So let's have a look, let's go through it. So we know that we've got 10 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our denominator is always going to be 10. The first question, A, asks us how many tenths of the counters are yellow. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 3 tenths of the counters are yellow. How many of the counters are red? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our numerator is 6. 6 tenths of the counters are red. And then the last one, 1 tenth of the counters are green. So 1 out of 10 counters are green. 1 tenth. And this one is our unit fraction. Can anybody remember why this one would be the unit fraction? Good, it's because it has a 1 as the numerator. The other ones have another number than 1, so they are non-unit fractions. Let's have a look at this then. Amir has some blue and yellow cubes. He makes a tower using 10 of the cubes. So he has used 8 blue and 2 yellow. So 8 tenths of the tower is blue, 2 tenths of the tower is yellow. I want you to investigate how many different towers that he can make using 10 cubes if each tower has a different fraction of blue and yellow cubes. So every tower will have 10 cubes, but there will be a different amount of yellow and blue each time. Let me show you an example. So tower 1 could possibly have 1 tenth yellow and 9 tenths blue. That would be one way that Amir could make a tower. Tower 2 could have 2 tenths yellow and 8 tenths blue, just like we see here. I want you to pause the video and see if you can write down how many other towers you think Amir would be able to make. So pause the video and in your book see if you can investigate how many towers he will be able to make. So here are all the towers that I thought that he could make. So can you notice a pattern? The yellow is getting higher each time and the blue is getting lower each time. So we could have 1 tenth yellow, 9 tenths blue. 2 tenths yellow, 8 tenths blue, and we can work it out in a pattern like that. Or we could have all yellow or all blue. Well done if you got that right. You need to go and watch part 2 of the lesson now to carry on today's learning.